Mic check, check, check. Justin Hunt. It's all happening. Long Island's humble god Hus Kingpin delivered one of the most buttery listens of 2021, Portishead, inspired by the legendary Bristol band Portishead. Here's a clip from the Graham tape.
All out my stomach. Docs are no wonder why your face blue hunters. I don't care for money. I share love abundance. I'd be a liar if I told you nice watch. Cause lonely man got nothing but time on the clock. Just wait for it. I wrote this to stretch your brain cords. Who would have thought you'd be a smut for a playlist? Goddamn. If it wasn't for us, you'd be nameless. And all the names hot came from my bus stop.
And all the names hot came from my bus stop. Love this joint. This is connoisseur rap right here, man. Easily one of my early contenders for album of the year, and it actually received a blessing from Portishead's own Jeff Barrow. Jeff said on Twitter, MC Hus Kingpin has released his album Portishead that has taken inspiration from our Portishead work. It sounds heavy and you can buy it here. Even put the link to the album. Now that's a weighty cosign. Sincerely, if you haven't heard Portishead, punch yourself in the face. Hus and I signed in for a roughly 90-minute conversation, his first interview ever. We talked about a number of things, including his riff with former allies Westside Gunn and Mach Hommy, which he says is most representative in their lack of support for Portishead.
Jeff, listen, did you see any of them niggas show love to that?
I didn't.
So it's not like I'm just acting like there's an invisible feeling. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Come on, man. Niggas even asked me about some diss ball shit. Gunn even tweeted me about some. Did he show support to the album? No.
Right.
Oh, is niggas talking about me on this part? Nah, my nigga, I'm not talking about you.
It's wild to think that Portishead showed more love than one-time homies. Maybe it's not. In the conversation, Hus goes on to detail how he met Westside Gunn in 2014 and how he was the one that introduced Gunn to Mach Hommy and how they were all friends who supported each other's business aspirations. Then fate and miscommunication threw a riff in the clip.
I love niggas though. You know what I'm saying? You know that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even really know a lot of these guys either, Jay. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. The reason I feel like this with Gunn and Mach, I know these niggas.
Right.
A lot of these rap, I don't know none of these niggas like that. I don't know any of these niggas. Outside of Smooth, Planet Asia, Gunn, Mach, Conway, Vic Spencer, Chris Crack, Supreme Cerebral, Von Poe, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I don't know any of these niggas, bro. I just work with them. You know what I mean? And I show love and I want to see this shit come up because I really feel like, you know, the battle rap league?
Yeah.
How that shit's cooking right now?
Right.
I feel like our shit should be like that. Everybody knows who everyone is on that shit. And all of them show love to each other, even when it's beef.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it ain't like that on the shit. It's still a crab in a bucket kind of vibes.
I'm not mad at that analogy right there. The battle rap community is great at staying connected, whether or not the mainstream is broadcasting. But this new golden era hip hop has officially reached Grammy status with Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist Alfredo and Royce the 5'9's The Allegory and Jay Electronica's A Written Testimony all receiving Best Rap Album nominations. All three projects are great examples of this wave's aesthetic, and two of the three receive a feature from a Griselda member or two. Griselda inked a Shady Records, which we covered in the Rip Your Face Off Rap TBD, and Benny and Westside are also Roc Nation affiliates, so theoretically, there should be plenty of light to go around. Hus goes into more detail in our conversation, but quiet as kept, the humble god has been a pillar of new golden era hip hop for nearly a decade, always championing fresh sounds from the underground. One of my sources said point blank, he knows for a fact Hus is the first person to utter Mach Hommy's name to the general public. It's all happening. Here's A&R extraordinaire Matthew Markoff, who's worked with hundreds of artists, including Hus Kingpin, Benny the Butcher, Planet Asia. This is his perspective on the influence Hus's business acumen has had on the popularity of things like limited releases and exclusive partnerships that are now crucial to the culture.
I know that Hus and Planet Asia had a big hand in the makeup of Westside Gunn. And like Willie the Kid, especially. Willie, like a lot of people, a lot of the new way of how records are being sold and stuff like that like how I linked up with Big Ghost for the Ghostface Big Ghost album was at Hus's advisement. Like how I got to work with Dope Media and these other companies like Gourmet Deluxe and so on and so forth. Also via like the advisement of Hus. You know, so I'm a big fan of watching like what Hus and Asia are doing. They're clients of mine. Huge fan of the work that 38 Special does. Trust.
Word up. Now, my favorite part of this conversation with Hus is when he and I delved into the lineage of this space. How did connoisseur rap get here, so to speak? And while mavens like Rozewood, 38 Special, Planet Asia, Do-Rag Dynasty, Brownsville Ka, those names have to be mentioned, Hus explains why Roc Marciano is the Rakim of this wave. Here's Hus.
He captured the sound first. And that's why I say he's Rakim of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like he fully encapsulated like the sound of where we were going. And he had a fresh sound, you know. And he was a new kind of face.
By every definition, Marsburg is a modern classic, jutting past its contemporaries like a middle finger. It received critical acclaim all across hip-hop media and was even added to Ambrosia for Head's top 25 albums of the decade. Nothing sounded like it when it dropped. He popularized the whole rapping over beats with no drums movement, whether you call that lo-fi hip-hop or new golden era hip-hop or connoisseur rap, all roads directly connect to Marsburg and Roc Marciano. Of course, Roc is fully aware of his impact. During an interview with Rap Radar, B-Dot asked Roc what he meant when he rapped, "The landscape changed when I went against the grain, and niggas wasn't quick to embrace." I mean, those minimalistic beats. People listening to my production thinking, okay, you know, some of the tracks had drums, but a lot of them didn't. They be sitting around waiting, you know, when the drum's gonna come in, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case may be. I think it was the minimalistic approach. I was the catalyst. It's not about my feelings, it's about truth and facts. If you date 10 years back, wasn't nobody doing it like this. 10 years ago when I made Marsburg and then Reloaded and stuff like that, this sound was kind of like abandoned, and I also feel like I even cavaliered, even went further as far as the approach, this approach in making music. Roc wasn't a rookie when he dropped Marsburg. He was featured on Busta Rhymes' album Anarchy. That project came out in 2000. He was on the song The Heist. Roc's crew, the UN, they put out a project in 2004 called You In or You Out. Then, like scores of other artists trapped in the middle of rampant music industry consolidation, Roc went silent for the next 6 years. I've had a handful of conversation with Roc Marcy, but our first interview in 2011 still stands out to me. I asked him if he felt like a new artist. Roc said, "In a lot of ways I do, because I'm finally actually adding to the artistic world as a solo artist. I haven't done that. I was doing it with groups before, like my crew, the UN. I came and signed to Busta Rhymes, so I was working with him. I never really got a chance to get my vision across and do it my way. So finally, I'm doing it 100% my way, and people are just getting that. It is kind of new because I haven't brought this to the business. It's kind of like being a new artist, but do I feel like a new artist? No. The music that I'm bringing to the table and what I'm doing now, is it new in comparison to what I did in the past? Yes. The music that I'm doing now makes me feel like a new artist, but I don't necessarily feel like a new artist. I have had the time and the experience." In another conversation I had with Roc a year later, I asked him how he felt about his then newfound popularity. He said simply, "I just want it to be something that lasts forever. It's not about how big I am at the moment. I just want to create something that stands the test of time." Mission accomplished. 10 years later, there's a whole generation surfing the Roc Marciano wave. Thoughts are physical, never forget that. But again, there's plenty of other jewels dropped in my conversation with Hus Kingpin, so make sure you check that out. The house that Roc Marciano built is littered with incredible MCs and incredible stories. So leave some of your favorites in the comments section. I'm Justin Hunt. Like and subscribe to the channel, it helps out tremendously. Follow @TheCompanyMan on everything, and as always, it's all happening.